Welcome to today's podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Today, I want to talk about family traditions, but not in a simple way. Usually, when we hear the word tradition, we think of big holidays like Tet, expensive parties, or old, strict rules. But I want to talk about the quiet meaning behind them. The small, tiny things that we sometimes don't see because they feel so normal, so everyday, like the air we breathe or the water we drink. When I was younger, I honestly thought traditions were just things we had to do. They felt a bit boring, and sometimes even like a chore. Every Sunday, the same big dinner at 7 p.m. Every holiday, the same activities with the same relatives. I used to think, why do we do the same thing every year? Why can't we just order pizza and play video games? Why can't we just do something new? I didn't understand then that these repeated actions were actually building a home inside of my heart, brick by brick. But as I grow older, I begin to understand something different. Traditions are not just actions. They are memories in progress. They are the silent stories we tell without using any words. In my family, the heart of our traditions is the dinner table. It is definitely not perfect. We don't always have a movie-style family scene where everyone is perfectly happy and smiling. Let's be real, sometimes we are exhausted after a long day of school or work. Sometimes we don't agree with each other, and the house gets a bit noisy with arguments or misunderstandings. We are human, after all. But even in those imperfect moments, the tradition of sitting together at the dinner table quietly connects us. It's a silent rule that says, no matter how angry or tired you are, you belong here, at this table, with us. I remember the evenings when the TV was on in the background, someone was talking about their day, and maybe someone else was not really listening, just looking at their plate. But now, when I think about it, I don't remember the noise or the boring parts. I remember the feeling, the deep feeling that I was not alone in this big world. Even when we were quiet together. And that togetherness at the table is like a shield against the cold world outside. Beyond the dinner table, traditions live in the small activities we do together. I remember our Saturday sports morning. Every weekend, my dad and I would head to the park nearby to play badminton or just go jogging. At that time, I complained about waking up early. I just wanted to sleep in. But now, I realize those mornings were not about the exercise. They were about the quiet conversations we had while walking home, the encouragement my dad gave me when I felt tired, and the fresh air that cleared my mind after a stressful week of math and biology. That simple game of badminton was a bridge between my world and his. Another tradition I hold dear is making handmade gifts. In my house, whenever someone has a birthday, we don't just buy a quick gift from a shop. We spend time making something, a card, a small DIY project, or a handwritten letter. I remember spending hours trying to draw a perfect picture for my sister's birthday. It wasn't perfect, but the look on her face when she received it was priceless. This tradition taught me that love is about the time and effort you give to someone, not just the money you spend. There is one more tradition I often think about. It is a very silent one. Every holiday morning, the house is still quiet and the light is soft and gray. I can hear small, rhythmic sounds coming from the kitchen, the sound of water running, the sound of a knife chopping vegetables, the sound of a pot hitting the stove. My mom is already awake, carefully preparing a special meal for all of us. No one asked her to do it, and no one says anything, but the house feels full of care, full of a love that doesn't need words. At that time, I just thought it was breakfast. Now, I realize, that was a tradition, too. It was her way of showing her heart without speaking. As we grow up, life becomes a lot faster, doesn't it? We have difficult exams to pass, new friends to meet, and big, scary dreams to follow. We start to spend more time in our rooms with our headphones on, or out with friends until late. Slowly, we might feel that we are too cool or too busy for family traditions. We might think playing a board game with our siblings or going for a slow walk with our dad is a waste of time. We want to run towards the future and leave the boring past behind. But then, one day, something happens. Life hits us hard. Maybe we fail an important exam, or we have a big fight with a best friend, or we just feel completely lonely in this big, busy world. That is when we start to miss those boring traditions. We don't necessarily miss the food or the game itself. We miss how they made us feel. We miss the feeling of belonging somewhere where we don't have to be perfect. In those moments, we realize that tradition is not a cage, it is a safety net. Family traditions are like invisible roots. They go deep, deep into the ground. Even when the wind is strong, even when the storm of life is loud and scary, those roots keep the tree standing. They remind us where we come from. They remind us that no matter how far we travel, there is always a place that knows our name and knows our story. And soon, it will be our turn. One day, we will be the ones waking up early to cook. We will be the ones asking our children to put away their phones and sit at the dinner table. We will be the ones keeping the fire of tradition burning. It is a beautiful responsibility. So today, I want to leave you with a small but deep thought. Family traditions are the anchors that keep us safe when the sea of life gets rough. Don't wait until these moments are gone to understand their value. Maybe today, your family tradition feels too normal or even annoying. Maybe you feel frustrated when your parents ask you to put down your phone and sit for dinner. But please, cherish it. Take a deep breath, look at their faces, and feel the warmth of the room. Because one day, the things that feel so normal now, may become the things you miss the most. In the future, you will grow up and create your own traditions. They might be simple, they might be totally different from your parents', but if they carry that same quiet love and that same feeling of togetherness, they will be just as meaningful. Thank you for listening to my story today. I hope it reminded you of something beautiful in your own home. Go home today, give your family a real smile, and appreciate the small, boring, wonderful traditions that make your life beautiful. Until next time, stay kind and stay connected. Goodbye.